Ambassador Velvar of the Kryn Collective had lived for 3 centuries, witnessed the rise and fall of a dozen civilizations, and negotiated peace treaties across 40 star systems. Yet as he stood in the sterile white chamber of the human warship Retribution, his 4 hearts hammered with a primal fear he had never experienced before. The human commander stood before him, unervingly still. Captain Elena Vasquez was small by human standards, barely 1.7 meters tall, but her presence filled the room like a collapsing star. Her dark eyes held something that Velvar's species had no word for, something that made his bioluminescent skin pulse with distress signals. "You were warned," she said simply, her voice carrying the temperature of deep space. Velvar's translator implant struggled with the subtext, the layers of meaning compressed into those 3 words. His mandibles clicked nervously. "Captain Vasquez, please. The attack on Proxima Station was a mistake. A rogue faction. The Collective has already disavowed them." "Yes. We received that message." Elena's lips curved into something that wasn't quite a smile. 17 hours after 3,000 human colonists were vaporized. Men, women, children turned to ash because your rogue faction decided humanity was expanding too quickly into what you considered Kryn space. We are prepared to offer reparations. Reparations. The word came out like a curse. Elena walked to the viewport, where Velvar could see the assembled human fleet. 200 warships, each bristling with weapons technology that shouldn't exist. Humanity had only achieved faster-than-light travel 40 years ago. They were newcomers to the galactic stage, barely past their first stumbling steps into the cosmos. They shouldn't have this kind of firepower. "Do you know what makes humans different, Ambassador?" Elena asked, still gazing at her fleet. "Every species the Collective has encountered follows predictable patterns. Negotiate, compromise, move on. Even in war, there are rules. Boundaries. A sense of proportion." She turned, and Velvar instinctively stepped back. "Humans don't have that switch. We remember everything. We nurse grudges across generations. We write songs about our defeats and teach them to our children. We build monuments to our dead and swear oaths on their graves." Her voice dropped to barely above a whisper. "And when someone crosses a line we've drawn, when they ignore a warning we've given in good faith, we become something else entirely." Velvar's primary lungs struggled to process the oxygen-nitrogen mix. "Captain, the Collective Council has authorized me to negotiate." "The time for negotiation was 3 months ago," Elena interrupted. "When we discovered your survey ships probing our colonies. When we sent formal complaints through the proper diplomatic channels. When we established clear boundaries and asked politely for your ships to respect them." She activated a holographic display. It showed the timeline, 14 separate incidents of Kryn vessels entering human space, each met with diplomatic protests. Each protest ignored. "We even sent you historical data," Elena continued. "Records of what happens when humans are pushed too far. Earth's own history, thousands of years of warfare, revenge, and retribution. We thought you'd understand the warning. We thought you'd be smart enough to learn from our mistakes." Velvar's skin had turned a sickly gray-green. "You sent us data on primitive tribal conflicts. We are an advanced civilization. We thought. You thought wrong." Elena's hand moved to the tactical interface. "You saw our violence and assumed we'd evolved past it. That we'd become enlightened like the other spacefaring races. But here's what you didn't understand: we didn't evolve past our violent nature. We learned to aim it." The holographic display shifted, showing real-time tactical data. Kryn military installations across 3 star systems, each marked with targeting solutions so precise they accounted for gravitational fluctuations in stellar wind patterns. In the 72 hours since Proxima Station was destroyed, humanity has mobilized the largest military fleet in our history. We've pulled every available ship from every colony, every outpost, every patrol route. We've activated reserves that haven't been called up since the Unity Wars. Do you know why?" Velvar couldn't speak. His translator was receiving the data from the display, calculating the implications. The targeting solutions weren't just for military targets. They were for industrial centers, population hubs, infrastructure nodes. A decapitation strike that would send the Kryn Collective back to the pre-spaceflight era. Because, Elena said, her voice carrying the weight of her entire species, when you kill 3,000 of ours, especially after we warned you what would happen, we don't just retaliate proportionally. We make an example. We ensure that no one, not you, not anyone else watching this, ever makes that mistake again. This is genocide, Velvar whispered. The Galactic Council will. The Galactic Council can file a complaint. Elena's expression didn't change. We'll get to it eventually. Maybe in a generation or two. After we've mourned our dead. After we've rebuilt Proxima Station. After we've made absolutely certain that the Kryn Collective understands that humanity keeps its promises, both good and bad. She leaned forward, her hands pressed against the tactical console. We told you, Ambassador. We showed you our history. We explained in excruciating detail what happens when someone pushes us past diplomacy. You were warned. Velvar's voice modulator crackled with desperation. What do you want? What can we possibly give you to stop this? Stop? Elena's laugh was sharp and bitter. Oh, we're not going to destroy your civilization, Ambassador. That would be too simple. Too clean. No, we're going to do something. Worse. The tactical display updated, showing new targeting solutions. Not weapons platforms or military bases, but communication arrays, data repositories, cultural centers. We're going to make sure the entire galaxy remembers what happened here. Every species, every civilization that's watching this unfold. We're going to make the Kryn Collective a case study in what happens when you ignore human warnings. Your politicians will be used as examples in our military academies. Your tactical decisions will be dissected in our strategy courses. Your species' name will become synonymous with the price of underestimating humanity. She straightened, her uniform crisp and perfect despite the tension in the room. Here's what's going to happen, Ambassador. You're going to return to your collective. You're going to tell them that humanity is taking 12 of your core systems as reparations. Your military will be reduced to defensive forces only. Your expansion into the Perseus arm is over. And you will erect a monument on your homeworld, a monument to the 3,000 humans you killed and the warning you ignored. That's unacceptable. The collective will never. The collective will comply, Elena cut him off, her voice like titanium, or will demonstrate what our species learned during centuries of warfare on our homeworld, that there are fates worse than extinction. We can take your worlds and leave your people alive, Ambassador. We can dismantle your civilization piece by piece and make you watch. We can make your species a cautionary tale that echoes across the galaxy for the next 1,000 years. She activated the ship's communication system. All fleet commanders, this is Captain Vasquez. Ambassador Velvar will be returning to Kryn Prime with our terms. Maintain offensive positions. If we don't receive unconditional acceptance within 24 hours, Operation Reckoning is authorized. Velvar's skin flickered through colors his species used only in their most ancient nightmares. The galaxy will turn against you. They'll see you as monsters. Maybe, Elena acknowledged. But they'll see us as monsters who keep their word. Who mean what they say. Who draw lines and defend them. She walked to the chamber's exit, the door sliding open with a hydraulic hiss. You had 3 months to avoid this, Ambassador. 3 months where all you had to do was respect our boundaries and acknowledge our warnings. You chose to test us instead. As guards escorted the trembling ambassador toward his shuttle, Elena returned to the viewport. Behind her, her second-in-command approached cautiously. Captain, the collective will spread this across the galaxy. Other species will see us as aggressors. Warmongers. Elena nodded slowly, watching Velvar's shuttle depart toward the Kryn fleet, which was already beginning to pull back. Let them. Better to be feared and respected than liked and dead. We gave them every chance. We followed every protocol. We were patient. We were diplomatic. She turned from the viewport, her expression carved from stone. And when all of that failed, when they killed our people anyway, we showed them what humanity really is. Not the enlightened explorers we pretend to be. Not the peaceful scientists and artists. But the descendants of predators who conquered their own planet through sheer, relentless will. The second in command hesitated. And if they don't comply with the terms? Captain Elena Vasquez's smile was cold enough to freeze hydrogen. Then the galaxy learns another lesson about humanity: we don't just hold grudges. We nurture them. We feed them. We turn them into fuel for the kind of determination that crosses light years and topples empires. She walked toward the bridge, her voice carrying across the ship's intercom. All hands, maintain battle stations. The warning was clear. The consequences are inevitable. And humanity never forgets. In the depths of space, the human fleet held its position, a promise and a threat that would echo across the stars for generations. The Kryn had learned their lesson. The question now was whether the rest of the galaxy was paying attention. End.